Can you please enlighten me on the issue of first fruits offering?
First fruits.
Yeah.
First fruits. What is that?
First
What is
fruits.
that? What is that?
First fruits offering.
What is that?
It's a kind of offering they give in church.
Nobody should be bothering him or herself with that question.
Okay.
It doesn't apply.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because it was only practiced in the days of the tabernacle.
Okay.
When the church in the days of the church in the wilderness,
Right.
and in the days of Leviticus, and all those things that were happening in the tabernacle those days, they were not even practiced later on, in Israel, in New Testament. Talk less of today. So it's not a commandment to us today. It's for Levites. Is for when our others, tribes, and the Levite tribe were the ones who couldn't walk.
Right.
So they were being sustained that way. So this is anybody that uses that, they just want to take your money. Let me just tell you what is happening.
But
if anybody is using that today to pre-show and say members of church need to bring first fruit, they just want to eat, Jerry.
Pastor,
They just want to eat. Forget about it. They just want to eat. Maybe they need some financial solution.
but there is a whole big teaching on this first fruit thing
Where?
in churches.
Even those teachings you are talking about, it will be in the last maybe 10, 20 years only. Before, it wasn't there. People are just looking for different ways to manipulate their members to give. It's part of church manipulation, Joe. I'm sorry that I'm spoiling the business of my colleagues, Some of them are cross at me. I'm already made enough enemy all over the world, but I guess one or two less doesn't matter. One or two less enemies doesn't really matter. But just to tell you the truth, according to God's mind, it's all.
So in other words, people shouldn't do first fruit offerings. Really?
Not scriptural. It's not according to the New Testament.
Okay. And
It's good. It's good for the pastor. It's good for the pastor. It's good for the pastor. But maybe not for the members. But somebody will feel nice after that. I tell you that one.
Okay. So, but there's another practice of probably, let's say your first salary, you give it to your parents.
Yeah, for parents, that's worthwhile. I think if you want to give first fruits, it might be more appropriate to give to your parents than to a pastor. Because your parents are the people who invested in you.
Okay.
And your parents are the people who made you who you are. Mm-hmm. So that is more appropriate. You can still do it to your pastor, but not because it's a commandment somewhere or it's because it's a requirement. It might just be something you want to do out of your own free will because you are grateful to the pastor or to the church. You can do that out of your own free will, but it shouldn't be a practice that is instituted, like a commandment or like a requirement or like a standard. No. It should be something that you are doing out of your mind. If you want to really practice first fruits, you like that commandment so much, go do it to your parents only, but not to a church or pastor.
Okay, so that means people could also say the same thing about tithe?
Tithe, yes. Tithe is, the most important thing about tithe is that you must always give your tithe, but you don't have to give it to a church.
Okay, why do you think they must always give tithe and not first fruit? Both of them. Some people might argue we're in the Old Testament.
Yes, tithe is mentioned also in the New Testament.
Right.
In the New Testament, Jesus spoke about tithe just once.
Okay.
And he said people have over-elevated the place of tithe.
Right.
In Matthew 23, verse 23, he says, don't be talking about tithe. Because in those days, people were always giving excuse that, I've given tithe now, I've given tithe. So for any little thing you want to say about God, I'm giving my tithe, just like today, I've given my tithe, so what is doing it? I've given my tithe, And some people will even say, oh, because I've given tithe, that's why I cannot give money to my parents again. No? And because I've given tithe, that's why I cannot give to the poor. Because I'm giving my tithe to the church, that's why I cannot take care of the one in prison or the one that is hungry. I'm giving my tithe, that's all. Just like today. So, and Jesus was rebuking them for that and said that, you guys, you said you will not do the work of kindness anymore. You will no more do the work of mercy. You will no more do the work of charity, the work of love, which are higher in the law. These things are higher than tithe. So you are now using tithe as an excuse why you should not do things that matter most in the law. So things that matter most in the law are works of love, works of mercy, works of kindness. And now you are saying you are no more doing that because you are giving tithe. Then Jesus said, you are supposed to do the first one and the second one not to forgive. The ones that matter most, acts of kindness. I was naked, you didn't clothe me. I was hungry, you didn't feed me. I was in the prison, you didn't visit me. I was in hospital, you come and... Those are the works of kindness that are and love that are higher in the law. So these things are higher. Do that, and also the other one, don't forget, which is tithe.
Right.
So, which means Jesus condones that tithe also should still be done in the New Testament.
Okay, but he never talked about first fruits.
He never talked about that.
Okay, great, awesome. Thank you so much, Pastor, for your detailed answer. Yeah, this person is asking, when are you bringing your wife on air? I think we need to listen to her too.
In fact, if I have telephone now, I can even call her. Let's call Pastor Pastor. Let me try to, if she can pick the phone. Let me set her up. I'm going to set her up. I'm going to set her up. if she's lucky enough or she's unlucky enough to pick the phone. She's there? Yes. She received it. She has picked the phone. So we are waiting for my wife to pick the phone.
Right.
She might be lucky. She might be lucky, as if she's sensing it that I want to set her up, so she's not picking it.
No.
The person is not lucky. Don't be my fault. Though. I was ready to do it, but they are not lucky enough. So I cannot answer that question. She should have been the one to answer by herself.
Okay. So tell us when she's coming.
So I cannot speak for her. Otherwise, I will be violating my own principle again. I cannot just come and get home now and force her, okay, princess, you must come and appear. Who am I? It has to be our choice and our decision.
Great.
I can only propose to her, but I must honor her enough to let her decide.